to get this final kicked off.
Yeah, can he hold? Does he have to go back and forth? If he does, just a level ball. It's one of those ones for me that's always been tricky.
I think this is where, and this can go both ways, whether it's back and forth, but whenever I'm on a little bigger pocket like we are this week, the 4.5, I really like killing the ball.
Yes.
You know?
And he does have some pretty soft hands.
Yeah, it'd be maybe a mini drag from this distance. It doesn't really have to. You could just roll it with a hair of left. Oh, he went back and forth.
I felt like he was just in between. Could have done either or. Gonna have to do the same now, or at least come towards the pink if he wants to go forward, but this is still a little awkward.
Yeah, he could come across between the 4-9, it looks like, maybe playing underneath, but this is where, kind of like the EKLENT KACI, or actually it was Federer in the last match, you might come 2 rails above the side and take some distance on the 4 with the 5 pretty handy.
Yeah, almost an identical play there.
This is in between, and he's really good at the stun straight back and forth, but not only do you have to dodge the side pocket, you got to get the speed right if you get steep on the 4. He's playing from underneath, it looks like. Smart, savvy play, understanding it was probably going into the 4. Hard to go a whole lot wrong.
It's kind of what I felt like in the beginning. I just didn't know if you want to chance it.
Well, he's going to keep control at worst, right? Even if he doesn't get the offensive shot.
Yeah, the only way it goes wrong is if you flick the bottom edge of it, if it bends too much, but he was definitely in control. All right, now, does he come towards the 9, or is he just drawn back? Coming to the gap with a high ball.
Yeah, kind of broadening it. Good stroke there, getting through that ball.
Really respected the straight in angle there. I felt like he could cheat a little more.
Yeah, I thought it would have been a little cheat, maybe a hair more of a draw towards the 9 maybe, but the stun certainly works. Very good with the bridge. Gonna get a little steep here.
Yeah, and this is a tester or a bit of a nervy play if you have to hold for the 8 coming off the second rail.
Yeah, and this is where I don't try to go uber soft worrying about the speed. I think you might get a hair above the 8 coming 2 cushions, but I really like a little more comfortable pocketing speed on the 7. I think he's okay. And get a little more into the ball. Really like that.
You can't ask for a better start, Double J.
No, not at all. And made a nice opener on the 2. Heady play on the 3. And then from there, very, very solid stuff from the Terminator.
Attention to detail. That's what the big man does with the rack. I think they all want to make sure the balls are racked correctly. Did struggle mid-match versus Gorst last match. 3 dry breaks in total. I think 2 in a row. And then finally switched sides. Jeremy Jones was alluding to that, switch sides, and then catches a real brutal scratch off the 9. And that's what allowed Gorst back into the match. See if he can make the adjustment. Really powering him. Really powering them there. And I don't believe he's got a look at the 1. Just shaved the bottom of the 9, and that's how he's finished low. And this is a benefit to Kaci's break. If he doesn't get the 1 down, he gets into the ball so well that he's probably close to even money to make something somewhere else.
Yeah, I agree, Scott. He doesn't have a look at the 1, but there is. Does he have the left side, and is the left side any good? He can beat the kiss, so you just go as thin as you can here, I think, trying to dodge the 6, get the 1 on the back cushion.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. I think it's all really the focus on the 1. Just hit it accurate, and the cue ball probably take care of itself if you can beat the 6. But it's more really about the 1 here, I think, laying it down up top. Really wants to jump this ball. If you can hit it a little easier, your percentages go way up. He's obviously considering this because of where the 2 is at. But no guarantee there either, because he could float forward. But really, if you can take a little speed off here with the jump, percentages go way up on the make.
Yeah, and hard to argue this play, really.
Absolutely spirited. Thumped the pocket.
Yeah, and I don't know if he can dodge the 9 here. May have to play tricky off the 9, and I don't know if he can get into it with maybe inside and hit the 9 full enough to hold for the 4. Not sure either are really on offer.
Looks here like he might almost be able to just swerve the 2 in with a middle outside ball.
Can he go into the 9 with inside, like play the 2 with the hair inside, actually? You know what I mean?
Sure,
that way
sure,
you catch
to
the 9
throw off
more
the-
full. Yeah.
I think that's what he's going to do, Jay.
Maybe even just straight. Maybe straight and cutting it lightly. You're okay. He's missed it. Huge miss here.
Never seemed real comfortable with it, but it looked pretty good.
Got a little bit of a roll, tying up the pink 4 with the 9 and the 5. So
Does the 4 play off the 9 like you're sending the 9 to the lower right as well and stitching him up behind the 5 at the same time if he could get on it?
Well, I'd like to draw off the rail here, I think, and where I could clip the 4 and go behind the 5 with the cue ball, but everything's, I think, pretty touchy.
He's looking at it.
Yeah, he is.
I think he's got a big pocket to the lower left.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's going to be past the side, so it's going to be delicate to hold the ball from a little distance there and really contain the object balls as well, that being the pink 4, so I don't think this is going to be easy.
Yeah, I just don't know that he can get behind the 5 from up there either, though, Jay. That's the only thing I'm looking at there. It feels like the 5 is a big ball to get by, unless he can come all the way out towards the center here. But I think he wants to hold to the left side of the table. Oh, he's missed the ball badly, and where's it going to finish? We know this guy will play a combination.
And he's gonna. There's not going to be any cover here. He's just going to line it up. Might make the 2 in the opposite corner off the 9. I mean, there is no question here, right? You got to shoot this combination. I mean,
Yeah, I think he was looking at what happens if he makes the 2 and not the 9. He was kind of looking at the cue ball line into the 4 there.
yeah.
Or maybe backdooring the 4 off the 5 if all goes bad. I don't know, but I don't think he's really thinking about missing the combination. He's just looking at the line of where the cue ball was tracking.
Yeah, I want to draw this, though. You know what I mean? That's the confident, good way to make it. So
Maybe with a tip of outside.
yeah, he's like stunning, it looks like. So the 2 may go in the right corner off the 9.
This could be somewhat of a trick shot, actually. He could make all 3.
Is he rolling this ball?
He's got to be hitting it with low and a touch of outside.
He rolled it. Now he's going to have to kick in the 4-9.
Yeah, I think he's going to get paid off, though.
You would figure so, but
Do you intentionally do your best to get to the second rail here, Jay?
100%. Yeah, I mean, you can overcut the 4 to the bottom rail and still make the 9. If you get underneath, it's the only way you can really miss it. So I think you really want to go to the second rail, and you're kind of looking it right in the face. Oh, he spun it big time. What a shot. I would have hit it natural.
Yeah, he put some heavy right on it, actually. Yeah, I know we've talked a lot about it in this event. The Florida Open is a new major in the States, $250 entry fee, 256 players allowed. Entries are available to get in now. Tickets on sale already. And it is at the Caribe Royale, where we held the Moscone Cup this year, and it was amazing. The roof should have come off the building. You could not hear yourself talk 95% of the time. All right, he had great success in break number 1, as good as anybody I've seen really with the break, hitting him with big power. Yeah, and big power again in the 2. Wide open to the lower right. Jeremy, this might be a big reason why he is in the finals.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to face all these killers and alternate break, you got to be putting some together when it is your break.
How would you like to have this layout on your birthday?
Is it Neil's birthday?
No, but just
Okay.
just saying.
Well, he's going to have to work the cue ball a little bit, but they sit there pretty nice, even though there's going to be some cue ball movement. You can just draw up the table, keeping a little angle to go off the 4 around the 6 up table. Now that's where he's got to start to be a little concerned with the cue ball.
Yeah, I agree. You just don't want him to get flat. Is that what you're saying on the 5?
Yeah, I mean, this is where you should be able to fall on the top rail. The speed should be good enough. Your talent, and of course these great players, whether it be tight or a rolling ball, whatever you feel. It's going to be a little short of that end rail, so he's going to have to work the ball maybe.
Definitely.
Yeah, not a lot of angle.
Yeah, you really couldn't go wrong getting to the top rail. Maybe just a bit of a let up. I don't know. Or
Yeah.
drew it maybe a bit much.
Yeah, what happens is on a shot like that, if you're going to draw it, it's how you hit the pocket, right, with the ball. If you hit it a little thick, you're going to come a little deeper, not quite as much movement. Now, this is the concern here. It's not so much getting on the 6, but when you got to get into the ball, how are you going to fall on the 6 to get to the 7?
Well, I think he wants to catch a piece of this right long rail if he's trying to stun down. That's for certain. It'll help carry the cue ball, like so.
Oh, if he could do that, speed control was always going to be pretty good. And he's off the rail. And that may be where the 4.5-inch pocket maybe helps you a little more on a shot like that, not worrying about rattling that ball, because there wasn't a ton of angle, it didn't appear. All right, coming 2 rails out.
Yeah, another one that's easy to let up on a little bit, but he's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 breaking runs to open, most likely. It's how you want to start the match. All matches, especially the finals.
And
that need to go a little bit?
It does. Jeremy, if I'm correct, I feel like Kaci's been leading like most all of his matches. I mean, he's won by some considerable amounts of games in his last 5 or 6 matches. So it'd be interesting to see how he responds if Neil continues to push this.
Yeah, well, he did have a tight one in the last, though, against Federer.
Besides
that one, yeah.
But he was even in the lead the entire time there as well.
Felt like it, yeah, pretty much. So 2-0 with breaking runs there for NIELS FEIJEN.
Batting 100%. No, and we just saw this in the last set versus Gorst. He gets into it so well that the power, if he clips off the 9, has no problem reaching the side or the corner.
Tricky little 4-ball here, even though the 3's near. Doesn't go to the lower corners. Yeah, I like what he's doing here when you really need that, important position for some type of task ahead. I like following here into position rather than drawing the ball. All right, he's going to get past it. Just perfect, really, so he can fall below and play the 4 in the upper left. Go ahead and be aggressive, get that bounce off the... Oh, he's stunned over. That was a little surprising. I thought the angle was there to go forward, maybe with a hair right. Come to the rail and let it open up. Tough shot when you're close to the ball. You know, sometimes you can get a little skewed on the aiming, but just got to go with what you see. I think you should be okay. Yeah, dead center. All right, doesn't want to put the inside, so it looks like he's going to stun around maybe the 8.
Can check this, can come to the second rail. It's all preference.
Now 3-1, and he's had 2 breaking runs on his break in these first 4 games, and just exactly what he needed, right? As a little underdog.
All right, everybody, we are back, and as far as the break is concerned, you're hard pressed to bet against EKLENT Kaci. But Jeremy talks about the kiss off the 9 often, and when you're that accurate with that much power, believe it or not, it happens more often than you would think. And it's twice now we've seen it in the last 2 sets where it was very key. Well, it was just happening there.
Yeah, it sure was, and now an odd grouping on the lower left side here, but yeah, I think the cue ball was going right in the center of that left side pocket. Sometimes those kisses help you. Now, as he kind of banked this away and dropped 1 rail below the 5-9, I don't know if he can really attack here. He wants to, but don't know if is there an alley to go forward between the 5-7 to the bottom cushion? It's got to be somewhat close. Otherwise, I think bank the 2 away and drop below the 5-9 with the cue ball.
I really like that. I really, really like that if there's potential risk of a crash down low.
Yeah, there might be a high ball between the 5-7. Get you shape. Yep. This is all right.
I believe the 4 might actually have a pocket. You have to be laying Almost ball in hand-ish to play it, though.
Yeah, I wonder how bad the 4-5 combination is with the 7 there. Because you can get on that pretty handy. You know, you can draw one row across and then get decent, maybe.
Some type of carom onto the 7 as well, but boy, I don't see any future there because of the 5 and 9.
Yeah, I think he was trying to really size up, maybe getting in position to play a good safety, banking the 4 away and dropping behind the 5-9 like we talked about on the 2 ball to open here in rack number 5.
Yeah, just huge potential with that shot, the way those balls lay.
Oh, look at here, he's going to juice it. He's trying to create something.
Trying to bend it, right?
3 rails. He's swinging.
Yeah, tried to bend it out, I think, a little bit more.
Yeah, he got into it a hair much. But he did land right on the 4-5 combo, I think.
Can he still drop below the 5 and 9?
Yeah, he sure can. He's just got to be delicate doing it, I think. Or be, aware of what's going on. Can he bank the 4 up and kill it? That's what I like. Yeah. He's maybe dragging the ball here.
I believe you can get behind the 9 here.
Yeah, it's not a terrible kick. I mean, you can leave distance trying to stick the cue ball.
Yeah, you can actually draw back under the 9 here if you hit it correctly.
Yeah, brand new felt really offers for that shot. David Alcady is awesome at that type of shot. And another awesome tournament for him.
Jeremy, I actually just posted a video of a kick like this in a big tournament.
Oh, yeah?
That I drew back and got underneath the ball. It's a fun shot. You were one of the best at it.
Yeah, it's a weird shot. You just got to kind of feel what's going on and where you're hitting the ball. A lot of times it's straight draw that works the best, but here, I don't know. I don't know if I get into it that much. I might just stick it and make him come with a long one.
Yeah, the only reason I brought it up, he's close, right? When you're this close to it and you can get into the cue ball, there's, if you're feeling it, like you said, there's room for a lot of control there. If he catches it square with a straight low ball, he can get back under the 9.
Yeah, it's a pretty shot when it happens. Like that. That's the only risk, though. You might put the ball near the pocket if you don't get the snooker.
It is close. I think he's just got him.
Yeah, nice shot. May have the right edge of the pink 4.
He's acting like he might have it all. Tough for us to tell.
Yeah, and this is where course training comes in if he can, just leveling out and knocking this ball in. I can't tell. I think he's getting the edge of it.
It looks to me like he's getting the edge. Maybe using the 6.
No.
Oh, my.
He had all of it. Is he going to get a little bit of a roll? Little bit.
Maybe he didn't even realize how much of that 4 he had. A lot of times you'll use the 9 as kind of a guide there. Might have played a little trick on him.
Yeah, it's a little bit of awkward bridging. He's just sizing it up right now, but I know he wants to cut at it and go up and down.
Yeah, you've got a pretty big area to get back to. I don't see a lot going wrong if he can just avoid the 6 on the way up.
Yeah, unless he overcuts it to the pocket, I think the 6 is okay. Straight ball, maybe just a hair of outside English. It'll turn over about the middle of the table.
So do you think if he goes up and down, he'll come back down on the left of the 6 or the right?
Just depends on how he cues it and how it hits the pocket, but I think it's going to come at the 6 pretty much.
Okay. It's hard to not take this on.
Yeah, it's just a little awkward cueing. You know, he tried cueing off the bridge. Now he's got his hand underneath the rail there. Now he's cueing low, so.
Knocking it away.
That's right. using the 8-9. Don't worry about the 5. It's going to be a gap.
Yeah, just couldn't get the bridge comfortable there.
Over the 5. Very difficult to bank the 4 accurately between the 6-9 here. Easy to hit this a hair thin and be weak on the 4. I caught it actually thick.
You might go to this lower right corner.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it the way he's sizing this up.
It's kind of a hard ball to hang, though. You know what I mean? Like if you shoot it and go ahead and draw it to the right rail and take your chances coming across. I mean, it's a hard ball to just hang in the pocket from this angle. So you may have something where the 4 escapes and you leave them long at some kind of distance. Safety's not easy that I see anyways.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. Like even if he happened to knock the 4 away, he could use the 6 if he's playing the 4 to the lower right. You just never know.
Is he putting him behind the 6? Oh, what a hit. What a hit. Very nice.
Across the face of it, Jay.
Yeah, but I mean, if you don't get through the ball just right, you double kiss that ball. If you're a little weak on the stroke, the cue ball doesn't have enough power going through, and it's a double kiss all the way.
Or he can go straight towards the 9 if you miss hit it a little bit.
True that, yeah.
Yeah, that shot not really recognizable unless you're at the table. Going at this ball, most likely.
I don't mind 2 rails, though. Yeah, he went 1 rail.
I like the 2 rails because you had this congestion down here.
Exactly. You don't even have to hit it hard. Just make sure you get under it and bump it up the table somewhere and take your chances. You're going to leave them tough. I mean, you can go ahead and hit it hard, but
sure.
You know, however you feel best to hit the ball. One thing about the 1 railer that he hit, you got a chance to make it. Plus, any kind of thin, the cue ball's running back down here, so there is a lot of value in that shot as well. This odd, right? The alternate break. I mean, any format, I guess, but the alternate break, especially if he gets out here, we're going to be on serve, and it's felt like it's been all Niels in this final so far, even though it's early.
Yeah, sometimes it tricks me as well. It's just a little misleading. I think we naturally kind of just feel like even after day 4 that you have to remind yourself it's winter break or alternate break because we're thinking winter break sometimes.
Yeah, that looked like too much speed almost. I think he's all right, but it's close. Just enough. Now he can go inside or outside here. I think it's inside, Scott, huh?
I don't mind the outside, Jay.
I don't either, but
either or, really.
yeah, if he's a little shorter of his mark, I really like the outside, but he's gotten in a position where both are on offer. Just make sure you cut it nice and thin if you're going inside. Yeah, he caught it a little thick to the hole. That's the problem. You got to make sure you catch it on the thin side.
Yeah, the cue ball kind of dove into the 7 there. You know it's going to swerve, so when JJ says thin, you really had to catch it pretty paper thin. Does he want to bank at this?
I don't think so. He got down on it quick, so I thought maybe a hair of frustration now.
What
Just
about
doesn't.
a 2-way, just tucking under the 9, playing the 8 to the top, to the right?
That's pretty good.
Is it there?
Yeah, it's there for sure. I mean, it's a little. You'd like a little angle on it, but The common play is to cut the 8 below it and run the cue ball up table 2 rails and try to use the 9. But you leave a lot of kick shots that way. He's going.
Yeah, I think he's kind of two-way going here.
I think he's sizing up how he wants to shoot it. That's what I think. But
so you don't think he's trying to use the 9 as a backdoor defensive play? So there tells me no. He's going all out.
yeah, he's ducking now. I think, anyways. It's hard to tell. Trying to get the speed right on the 8. He may have given up a little something here. Yeah, he definitely has.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what he's given up, but at minimum he could knock the 8 up to the middle of the top rail.
Oh, you could see a lot of that ball.
Yeah, that's what he did, Jay. Pretty good speed with the 8 as well. That makes things a lot more difficult, believe it or not.
Yeah, you talked about it, though. The big guy's good at this shot, right? So I think you got to try to come off the right side, get the 8 out in space, and come 2 cushions behind the 9. I know it's nervy, and it looks bad when it goes bad, but I think it's a better percentage, at least making Niels come with a shot from distance. You might get the snooker rather than going for the bank. The bank's only on offer to the low right, really.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think the bank is very low percentage from this position. He is so good at edging the ball. The 9 could really turn out to be the big ball.
Is there a trick shot here? Banking it 3 rails on the left side and swinging the cue ball to the end rail as the 8 goes up? You know that shot, right?
I do know that shot.
Sits okay. Yeah. Kim Davenport made that shot on me in the finals of the Reno Sands. Believe that? The finals, he made that shot on me.
I'd like to have seen the replay.
I don't know what he's doing. Is he draw double kissing this? Oh, my. He let up on it a little bit. You cannot let up. It's touchy, but you can't let up.
Yeah, I'm stuck sometimes between draw and center ball with that shot because of the accuracy. Sometimes I just want to go with a center ball. You don't see it come up very often, but it does in the game that you and I like to play a lot. It seems to come up a little bit more.
Yeah, this one sits right between. It's not hard to smooth it in, but I don't think I forced the second rail here on the bottom cushion. I think I just kind of come 1 rail.
I'll tell you what, it's definitely missable.
For sure. Yeah, this is the type of shot. The bottom rail didn't really let you slide the ball in, really. Got a little bit the top of the pocket to work with. Not that much. I wouldn't have forced the second rail myself. I felt like just level out and, use that talent right there.
Yeah, and I think the pocket accepts the ball quite a bit better as well, so you're not quite as nervy. Kind of a stark contrast to the first match, just as the pace has gone anyway.
Yeah, and I wonder if that last match took it out of, the big guy here, Kaci, a hair. There was a lot of drama, a lot of lead changes, playing number 1 player in the world. Somewhat of a rivalry. 4 rails around? No. Ooh.
Yeah, he might be gassed out.
Well, the thing is, and just it's hard, especially when a guy Niels breaks and runs the first 2 and whatnot, but on his break. But it's hard to get that momentum, or let's say blood flowing, with the alternate break format. Once you get a little complacent.
The heart rate gets so high at that point, right? There's kind of a letdown once you get to this point.
Yeah.
Or the adrenaline is definitely not the same, that's for certain.
Don't want to take a timeout early, but you may think if you're Kaci, go wash your face maybe after this rack.
Wasn't even thinking timeout, but you're absolutely right. That's a tactical timeout for certain. And there is no better time. if Niels knocks these down.
Yeah, he won't slow roll this. Oh, he caught a little heavy. He's going to catch the 9, so we'll see.
And it's all Feijen so far, leading 4-1. Not going to be taken by Kaci. And if you missed it, Jeremy and I got to witness a pretty sweet kick shot last game by EKLENT Kaci. That kick shot was, I don't know, we were just talking about it outside, EKLENT and I. I'm telling you, I mean, he did not have more than 30% of that ball to kick. I'm sure they're going to be showing replays of that for many moons to come. But what a kick carom he made in a key position in the match.
Yeah, what a shot. I mean, NineBall.
See, that's what he's good at, right, Jeremy? He gets into the 9 real well. The downside is you better get into it full, otherwise the cue ball is going to be ripping towards the side or the corner.
Yeah, and doesn't really have much here. Just playing him on the back of the 5, I believe, with not too much worry. But need a good snooker here. The 3's tied up. You don't want him to have a favorable kick shot to hit, and he could have welded him really well.
Yeah, I was wondering if you wanted to work towards getting the 2 down a little further like this.
For a
that laid
NineBall?
perfect, right?
For a 9-ball?
Yeah. Three does not play to the top right. Kaci would have liked another rotation or 2 out of the blue ball.
Does he go with the bridge here? Does he go with the extension, maybe? It's only really got one, I'd say, doable kick, really, one cushion off the bottom here. Boy, and he missed it at the cue ball here with this much angle he's got. He'll miss the 2 badly like that. So do you shoot the 2-9 here? I mean, the 3 does go.
Does not go to the top right, Jay, so I don't know what...
It goes to the lower left, though. But
Absolutely.
But that little tap on the 4 to the top cushion makes all the difference in the world. I always felt like this combo to the side was always easy to overcut. But if I shoot it, I like rolling it. Not dead speed or nothing, but a high ball. That's just me.
Yeah, I think you can be a little more accurate that way versus trying to stop it with a little more speed.
Yeah, not babying it or anything, but just, smooth. He caught it. He kind of stunned it, like forward
did.
stunned it.
Yeah, a little surprising. Just seems a little off from his normal self, and probably had a lot to do with the Hill match that he just went through with Gorst. I know that's a huge match for him. It just could be a little bit fatigued, maybe, or the wind kind of let out of him.
Yeah, he's got a good chance to draw the cue ball to get in a good position to keep control here.
Is he drawn back towards the 6, or does he have that option? If so, is it worth the risk? I think so, because if he doesn't get there, he's still got the safe.
Yeah, the thing is about here, make sure you get right if you're going to lay up, because you could get awkward trying to just keep it simple. I'd probably draw up the rail and get a little closer and try and maybe produce the run out.
Exactly.
He got in a prime position to stick him. And that's what'll happen.
Really would like to keep the 3 a little bit more up in the top center part of the table here. You don't want to find that top rail. This is okay.
Yeah, really good. It's going to be a one-rail escape, you would think. Could come to the bottom and then off the left side rails behind it, but that's going a long ways, especially with another pretty good kick available. I kind of like the soft kick at it here, one rail. I mean, you can bump it a lot of ways, you know?
Exactly. You can lay it up on the side rail. It happens so often, or, double them up on the 4. Funny things can happen that way.
Yeah, see, I learned that from Efren, watching him when that ball gets near the pocket and there's another ball there. He'd kick with a speed to where if he hit the left side of it, the 3 just bumps to the top rail. You lay on top. If he hits the right side full, it hits the short rail and then lays on the side cushion. And you keep a lot of accuracy if you're comfortable shooting it this way anyways.
Yeah, I think it's actually a little bit overlooked by the younger generation, really, to be honest with you. I think that they're more into the pace and power type kicks or the backdoor stuff. But I do like the soft kick here, and I think he might be doing that, Jeremy.
Yeah, his tip position should tell us the story, but he's really good, so the firm kick is not terrible either. Now I think he is soft kicking. Yeah, and you can make it, by the way. You see, but there's so many good little things that can happen with the soft kick.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one of, 3 or 4 good things. I know you rattled off a bunch of them.
Yeah. I might go for this. Might go for the bank for the lower right. I really might.
Yeah, I think it opens up well. And I mean, you're going to play it short to begin with. If you miss it, you can't expect to miss it long. So you got the 6 there.
Yeah, and you're making the guy come with a shot that's struggling. And it's another angle coming from the middle of the table that's hard to hang the bank. It usually either wants to go or get away from the pocket. I think it's sitting real nice.
Yeah, we got a better look there. It does look like it's sitting nice. Is he looking to just play it straight on short to where the 6 is at? I don't know. And maybe looking to the cue ball down there.
Well, he could edge the 3. I mean, it's not that great.
Yeah, winning play, though, I think, if you try to open it up to this lower right corner.
Yeah, I definitely like it.
What can really go wrong, in my opinion? The 4 is in such a tough position, and the 5 needs work.
Is he running this behind the 6 with inside? Chipping it? Yeah, like that. It's all right.
Yeah, but you just feel like Eklent's going to get him behind the 9 and 5 here.
I agree.
You might actually be able to hit this with a little more speed as well, using the 4 to stop the 3 and really try and bury him up underneath the 5 and 9, whichever one. Yeah, a long ways off still. Not the end of the world, but very similar play here if he wants to take it on, but he's going to have to catch the 3 quite a bit thinner.
Yeah, I think you got to do it though, right? It's got to go. And it has.
Yeah, I think we'll see the jump cue, Jeremy.
Yeah, 100%. Hard, easy to want to hit a little right English on this. You got to get over a ball that's pretty close. You're trying to make it easy to maybe whiff this every so often if you have a hair of a miss hit, because you got to get over a ball that's close so the ball hits the surface early and has a lot of time to curve, basically. So generally, though, the guys will aim a little thicker if they're adding a hair of right English, even with the jump cue.
I don't feel like he's that big a dog to get this down, but watch out. 8 and 9 here.
Yeah, even the lower left corner. What a shot. He's going to hold on to that jump cue. Maybe not. Now he's got. Oh, it did scratch.
Oh,
wow.
my goodness.
I thought it was
coming
long.
low. Yeah.
Wow.
No way he'll draw into position here. He'll use the right long rail to come into the line. That way, the only thing you're concerned about here is the speed. But you know you're getting a look at the 5.
Yeah, and here you may go below the 6. You could, really. He's coming past the side from here. I think past the side's looking to get maybe straight on the 6.
Really seems pretty thin to get past the side.
Well, I think he can get past there, but you got to get into it a little bit, and I think that opens up the cue ball to get somewhat straight on the 6.
Yeah, you called it.
He held it just enough, so he's got the draw stroke.
Straight back. What's he looking at here? Is he that straight, or is he just fooling me? I don't cover NIELS quite a bit in commentary, so some of his movements kind of fool me at times.
Well,
looking at the bank
with
there
no shot clock, he'll size up almost every option a lot of times. You know what I mean? He does it quickly, but he's going to draw the cue ball for shape. There's no doubt about it.
Of course. I think he's actually still got a little bit of the good angle. Oh, he had plenty of good angle.
Yeah. NIELS does break in the next rack, so I wouldn't say totally out of hand, but it can start to get that way.
Yeah, he'll be halfway home. This race to 10.
CrossroadCues.com offers hassle-free, zero-interest financing on the most popular cue brands like Samsara, McWhorter, Nitty, and Southwest. With lightning-fast shipping, your cue will arrive in time for your next match. Buy, sell, trade, and consignment are also available at CrossroadCues.com. Don't wait. Contact us today.
Hey everyone, so if you love pool, then you need to check out EA Pro-Am Pool on YouTube. Like and subscribe now.
right, everyone. You can see the score in this final. It's Jeremy Jones, joined by Scott Frost, here at the Open NineBall Professional Players Championship. So much has gone on this week. This is the climax, of course, between these two great players. NIELS Feijen in control. Oh, the one missed badly. Cue ball's getting lost. Maybe something turning around here. I guess the cue ball getting up table. Did it get kissed? Probably pulls this up the rail between the 3-9. I'd probably be a little aggressive getting between that 3-9. Don't lay up too much on the 2. Ball in hand, you should have pretty good control. Maybe 5-6 inches past the 3. Something like that. Yeah, I like that play, Scott. Don't back off.
Yeah, and same here, right? With this play, you just want to catch the 2 going in. You don't have to let up at all.
Yeah, this is another shot, though. Don't end up short where you're a little steep on this cut. Make sure you're getting a decent little bounce off the 3rd cushion.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. It needs to settle, actually, a hair. But, ooh, he's gotten on top. Does he have the upper right? That would help. I think he does. And looking at that line, Scott, would you have ever thought of coming 3 rails between the 3-7 for the side?
I actually thought that's what you were talking about. So, yeah, once he let go of it, I felt like there wasn't a lot that could go wrong that direction. Unless maybe he was a little worried about just going into the 7.
All right. Does he have to go forward, or can he kind of draw past the 7, 1 cushion over? I feel like it's a ball you could easily overcut into that right knuckle.
Exactly. The pocket looks pretty small, even though we're misled here.
Yeah, he did catch that right knuckle, using the 7 to hold the cue ball. Probably nice that ball fell. It could have created some awkward cueing. Even though with ball in hand, you get the feeling just after a few shots he's really grinding through this rack here.
Yeah, a lot of work. Working very hard. That was clean. You can get closer to the 6 here, and you can afford to be a little bit steeper. Well, I feel like the tip came up there. I mean, big time. He's got to go forward now and just beat the 9.
Could settle for a bank. This has gotten awkward from nowhere, huh?
Yeah, he kind of let up on the cue. He was going to like a half low ball, and right at the end I could see the tip coming up.
Yeah, I don't think, unless the camera's fooling us, I don't think the draw gets you anywhere, but he's on the bottom part of the ball, so maybe flirting a bit. Oh, he was dead straight.
Yeah, a lot more straight than it looked. He is one of the best, if not the best, with that power low ball. Really looked like he had the off line on that 6. So maybe a great break taken by Kaci, coming back with a unfortunate scratch from NIELS. Now trailing 5-2 is the big guy.
Yeah, here's our payouts, $15K up top to the champion. Very well deserved, $9K for second. You can see the displacement with third, fourth, fifth, sixth through 13 through 16. We had a full field, I believe, right? 128.
That's correct.
Yeah, so nice payouts, even though it's not as much of the field as some would say, but it's still, though, you're getting that money, you're going to do okay. Another great event on the World NineBall Tour, more of them coming up. This has been, we talked to him on the break a little bit. That's the first thing he brought up was the break. What's going on with the break shot. It's been a little here and there since about halfway through his semifinal match.
Oh, so flush into the 9 there. Almost as if he didn't cut him. Of course he did, but boy, those balls exploded. The 1 did not get down.
And difference in the game today, you're taking on this jump all day. You're not really even supposed to think about it. I think you're supposed to take it on. I think the cue ball doesn't have to agree, but good chance you get shape on the 2. I think it's better than 50-50, if you make the 1, that is. Good look at how NIELS gets into the jump. Everyone's a little different. His arms are not quite as angled, you would say. And he caught it thick. Oh, this is going to hurt. Well, the 2 got a little covered up, so we'll see.
Yeah, it actually got a lot covered up. What about playing for a rail first on the 2? I don't know. I mean,
can you go towards the 8 with a lot of spin, just a rolling ball, and try and get the cut on the 2? Can you come above the 8 and get the cut on the 2?
Yeah, then initially I looked at swerving to the 8, but I still think he might be snookered that way.
Yeah, he's pretty smart, though. I mean, he'll come above it if he needs. That's what he's looking at
what
now.
He can do.
Yeah, looking at going at the 8 with a lot of spin.
Yeah, not the end of the world if you kind of edge it either. I think you're still going to get something good at the 2.
Yeah, if the 3's not also on the bottom end, I think he comes above the 8 to cut the 2, but that's going to make things difficult to get on the 3 unless he can maybe use the 5. I don't know. A lot going on here in this first shot.
Yeah, I feel like he's got to really kind of softly go towards the 8. Got a piece of the 3. Still didn't get into the 8.
Yeah, he's a little snookered, that's for sure. At least on the making end. But that's another one of those shots. I think you and I get a little more outside on the cue ball than maybe Eklund.
Yeah, probably going to swerve the ball a little bit more towards the 1. Is it terrible to kick 2 rails to the top side? Is he looking to edge this, or can he see enough of it to
I think he
knock it away?
Yeah, he could bank it and draw across behind the 5. If he does, watch out NineBall.
I think he's crossing it up, Jay.
That's what I mean. Watch out NineBall. Or no, he's edging it. Tips up quite a bit. Yeah.
Wow.
So good. Got the most out of it.
One of the best at it, if not the best in my opinion, over and over. He executes that play. From distance as well. Pink 4 is a huge ball here, I believe. Yeah, maybe laying okay. Got to consider the soft kick into the 2. Heavy if he can. If the pink 4's in the way of going into the 2 first, then might have to think of something else, but you'd like to just softly go into the 2 face first.
All right, here's a chance. A little tight on this first one, it looks like. A little awkward cueing. Type of shot you wouldn't want to roll necessarily, but
I think he changed his mind there. He was at a high ball and then went to a low ball. I think he was just going to float it in and then changed his mind. Did not get off the ball. I will tell you, we did talk to him during the break. We just kind of went outside to relax for a second. He did say that he was a little fatigued from the Gorst match, but in that same sentence he said, "I'll be fine, I just need a shot." But he was leveled out there and then went to the low ball. I don't feel like he was ever fully committed.
yeah, I'm not sure he would have had shape on the 3 just in case he pockets that ball. And I guess he can't get at the 2 to spin it in here.
I feel like he can draw into the 3 and get the 2 down.
Just definitely looking at, I think, some kind of safety banging the 2 away. So I don't know.
Why do I feel like he can make this ball?
Well, he's hitting a high ball, so this is going to be okay, I think.
Yeah, maybe just a little too steep to draw into the 3.
Yeah, and too steep to kill it with outside and play short side on the 3. But he's all right. He's not out of the woods, but he's got a good shot. He's a little elevated. This shot really is going to tell the story on the rack. Yeah, really nice play there. Can't ask for much more.
Yeah, and I know you're a fan of not going out of your way to play a ball to the side pocket just because it's kind of laying there, and this is a prime example. Just taking what the table gives you makes life much easier on the cue ball and yourself.
I think his cell phone went off in the background. Smart shot there on the pink, not drawing back, trying to get flat or funny on the 5. Just take the angle to work around the 7 here. I need to go a little bit just to be comfortable, because again, you got to work the rock here. You want to get on the 7, good to get on the 8, especially with the 9 on the side cushion.
Yeah, I kind of felt like he could draw back on the pink a little bit there. That would have stopped all of this, but I do get why it would have been a smart play. Just a little bit short of the mark here. Recovery should be simple, 2 rails out.
bearing if you're going forward. Get that bounce off the third cushion.
Still kind of all a result from the mid part of this rack here with the 4 that I actually thought was smart as well. 2 rails out here, huh, Jay?
Yeah, that's what he prefers.
Nice and tight. We touched on that a couple of days ago. You can never really go wrong coming that deep out of the corner.
Well, not your tournament table for sure. Sometimes at your home table with it being broke in, things can get a little sideways. Yeah, but in any kind of decent conditions, you're going to be just fine getting past the side. And NIELS Feijen's just fine again with a 4-game lead, 6-2.
All right, just want to remind everybody, please make sure your devices are in the
Big wind-up from Feijen on this break shot. Every time that Q-tip travels through the bridge fingers.
If we get a replay on that one, the 9 came right out of the rack. What? See the 9 pushed dead out of the rack? I mean, he did make the one on the side, but kind of an awkward rack. Or let's say opening of the rack.
Does the 8 play, I believe. And once again, a little funny, he's looking at it now. Missed a 2-ball. Very similar in the last rack. Seven is at the top of the table, so if the 8 doesn't play, he does have an 8-9 combination. The 9 in a big ball position. Not quite frozen to the rail there. Now looking to play this off of the 9. Due to where the 8 is at, it will open things up a little bit. Just don't want the 9 tying up with something else. Shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how he's going to play it. He's going to just stun over and take a little cut on the 4 and just ease the 9 away. Oh, he drew it. May get a friendly one, an early one, or set up for an early one.
Well, from one corner to the next. I believe it will be a 5-9 combination, Double J.
Yeah, absolutely. You shouldn't go out of your way otherwise.
Yeah, I think a quick game could really help Kaci.
Well, if he can back it up with something on his break, it's been a little funny, sledding on a guy that, sometimes has those bad kisses because, again, he gets back into that 9-ball a lot of times. But the dry breaks and the odd layouts have been, a little more often than we're used to seeing from him. Again, can't take your eye off this. It's pretty routine, but a hair missable.
Yeah, I just don't think you need to hit it real hard, right, Jeremy?
That's right.
Yeah, Kaci within 3 again. The crowd loves it. We've spent 4 days here. I got to give a shout out to our guy, Frank Miletti. He's produced this whole event, put a lot of equipment in, put a lot of equipment up, and it's the best equipment we've had really in the stream format over here in the States, outside of something like AccuStats. Frank, thank you, man.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you both for being here. Thank you also to WNT, Emily Frazier, and everybody over there for basically giving the local guy a shot, let me prove what I can do. So, and also to the fans that are watching, if you guys want to see more of what we do, check us out, PA Pro-Am Pool on YouTube. And of course, thank you for watching.
Thank you, Frank. Yeah. He's done a great job, right, Jay?
Always, and a very hard worker, does a lot for his community, and always look to support a guy like Frank and all the other ones that are great in the pool world.
Yeah, we need more of them. On that note, keep supporting Digital Pool as well, digitalpool.net/SBX right now, and WNTTV.com, as Frank just said. Plenty of places to watch it, and plenty of places to play pool if you're young and talented. Ranking events now, Jeremy, all over the planet, it seems.
Yeah, and they're building just like the majors.
All right, changing a break spot again just a little bit here. Analyze that from up above for just a second. Tell you what, you got to credit him for experimenting on the fly, and he's not really experimenting. Well, there he went flush into the 7, nowhere near the 9, most likely by design. And maybe a new result that he's going to love.
Yeah, well, the timing was impeccable. He's gotten a pretty nice reward with a good starter. He's got a little bit of a tricky 4-5. Easy kiss shot maybe, if he gets into position for it. Combinations there as well. Even short side, you never know. You doubt that, but
yeah, maybe now, Jeremy, to the short side.
yeah, that's the thing. Get there and evaluate, right? I mean, everything's in close quarters, so touch should be okay. Accuracy should be really good. I have to play short side here, I think, unless the screen's full of me.
No, I don't feel like a lot can go wrong. Even if you end up a little high on the ball, you don't really have any trouble down here if you get a little thin on the 4.
Yeah, with the 5 there is what Scott's talking about. You can handle a lot on the 4. It looks like, is he trying to go into something, or is he trying? I'm not sure what he was viewing there, or kind of sizing up rather.
It looks real natural.
Yeah, it looks good to me. Okay, he wanted to play maybe the combo or the kiss shot, it looks like. So it's going to be the kiss, I think, anyways. Whew, this is thin. And don't let up on it. You're not going to bash it, but make sure you get through the ball a little bit.
He is the best at edging the ball, but now maybe a little funnier cut on the 4 versus what he had or would have had on the 3. He can manage. Just does have some traffic.
And it's still, a little thought process about, because he had to hit the 3 really firm to get all the way back over to where he did. So that tells me he could have held behind the 4 pretty easily. And like you said, definitely not been any thinner, probably way less thin than he would have been now.
Maybe just overlooked it. I never felt like he was looking at the left side of the table there.
Yeah, could be the case.
This is one you got to hit clean.
Yeah, he's got to probably go between the 8 and 9, I guess.
Yeah, and then back up around. You could come between the 8 and 9 and then back out between the 6 and 9.
Yeah, that may be the ticket. First things first, you got to get the pink down. Oh, he played a hair inside. Oh, no. He probably thought that scratch wasn't even there. The ball hooked on him about probably a little past the head string is what happened.
Yeah, but it was really there all along, and the mistake, you got to feel kind of started on the 3 ball.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
That
Well,
one.
you know, what you talked about earlier about how he gets through the ball with the top English so well, you know, that kind of shot, even though it's thin, he could have had a little arc on the cue ball with the inside around, you know, just like I said, a little past the head string. Because he looked at it like the scratch wasn't even there. That's kind of maybe he shot it.
Yeah, he re-looked at it like it wasn't there, so very possible that he arced the cue ball a little bit. Thought he was going to use a little bit more of a center ball there, though, versus all high, where you know the cue ball's arcing, but I guess he wanted to come inside the 9.
I think he put a little inside English on it as well. Well, a huge game. I was looking at 6-4, now 7-3, and Mr. Fan to break.
Yeah, just real quick. Double J knows this man. Frank knows this man. He is great. Dave Bartosiak, classic billiards owner. He and his wife, Leah, doing a lot for pool, sponsoring this a little bit. We really appreciate it if you get down there into South Florida, Fort Lauderdale area. Check it out. He's got a heck of a vibe in that pool room. I say it a lot, but I feel like it's almost like the 5th man in certain aspects, but he is fatigued a little bit, I think, Kachi. You know, when you win a big match like you did against Gorse, you know there's a lot on the line. Not financially, just really because they've had a bit of a challenge with each other in the past. Maybe it's just taken a little bit out of him here at times. Now that scratch there, like you say, Jay, he didn't even think it was going to go, but when he overlooked the 3 short side to the 4 was pretty natural, and he's a really heady player. Like you said, he had to hit it hard just to get out for the carom. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe just it's a delicate game physically and mentally, and things seem to rear their teeth on a little bit of a mistake a little more often here in the finals and semifinals and whatnot. So now this guy's got to shore this breakup, though. Even though he's got a 7-3 lead, it's been a little off the last 2. Watch the 9 if he gets much movement there. Little bit's okay. Yeah, that's better, but all of a sudden he's found a dry break here, a scratch, 2 dry breaks actually, and a scratch. And it just doesn't sound as good as it did earlier.
No, it doesn't. That's something I was just going to touch on. I felt like the sound was not quite there. A little bit more clicky. Big pocket to the top right.
Yeah, does he level out? You would think so.
This is one of his go-tos. Very good with the long ball and a high cue ball, as we've touched on. Oh, he's overcut it pretty heavily, too, and this is makeable, I believe, from the right long rail.
Yeah, Neil's kind of looked at it like maybe it's not. I think you're right, though, Scott. I think he can get in there. I think so. I think this is where the 4.5-inch pocket, just a lot of spin, right?
Yeah, just straight left here. You don't have to hit it real hard, but if you want to clear out with the 2, just put a little more pace on it. You might get something towards the left side, a bank. You might get a look to the corner. Tournament director Doug Ennis out there most likely watching the hit. Is he looking to kick one rail at this, Jeremy?
Yeah, 100%. And I'll tell you, if he goes underneath the 4 with like a kill, he could easily make it and follow the ball in.
I just don't. I mean, we're looking at this line here. I mean, I feel like this kick from the rail there is easy.
He thinks he's going to bobble it if he goes that way. Yeah.
Maybe, we're not at the table. Maybe it's something a little off there that we couldn't see. That is always a big possibility, but it looked pretty fair with the larger pocket. Really kind of seems like both guys kind of really working extra hard to win each game. Just kind of the sense, and this happens a lot in finals where the tensions are up. Everything you've been through leading up to this.
Is he going into the 4 here? What's he doing? I kind of feel like he's trying to produce something here.
Sure looks like it.
Yeah.
Is the 4-7 that tough?
No, not at all, really. No, he's going to stay away from it. Now the 4-7's very playable. Is he trying to go the rail and bump the 4? That was a sweater a little bit.
Yeah, I think he'd like to stay below the pink if he can, or just on the same line as it. It's okay going up.
Yeah, he's all right here. He's just stunned, hit before the side, and just keep the angle. Ooh, I wouldn't come all the way down here myself. I'd just stun and keep the angle to come straight down the middle of the table off the 5 and to play the 6 in the middle.
Yeah, because you're saying risking coming all the way down, you could end up straight.
Absolutely.
I don't think he will end up coming all the way down.
Is he playing this off the 7? Yeah, I was about to say, now he's really a long ways away. So maybe trying to do a bit too much there. I mean, the balls were open.
Yeah, once again, Jeremy, I feel like he made a different decision while down on the ball. I think he last minute decided to just punch in off the 7 and thought he could creep up, and didn't work out. He's okay, he just got to knock it in.
Yeah, between the 7-9, very naturally 2 cushions. Great shot there. One of the best at that shot. I really like him, and there's many, but really like him and Kopi Knee on that shot, both on the short rails and the long rails.
Yeah, it seems whenever Eklent has to use or gets to use that extreme high center cue ball, it's always good. All right, Kaci not going away after game number 11. He's within 3, trailing 7-4. Yeah, and right now I think we could really be within 1 game. Possibly. A couple of decisions there, and then the scratch on the 4. The game prior to last, that kind of arced on him down in the lower right. Did have good success from here last time.
Well, that cue ball, I think, was heading towards the left middle. Of course, it was awesomely struck. We'll get a look here, just kind of catch the line. It gets kissed quickly. Ooh, it was going to be close. He's had some bad kisses, one on the fortunate side, and now it's in his hands to cut this lead even more at 7-5. I think everything does go. A little bit of a tester here because got to get into the cue ball a little bit, huh, Scott?
Yeah, this might be one that you've touched on or we've touched on. There's nothing wrong if you wanted to just come back above the 6 and take distance on the 3. But you don't want to connect with any of the 6.
Yeah, this is touchy. It's not the type, especially that far off the rail, you want to stun between the 3 and the side. Could roll it with outside if you're feeling good about it. I like that shot myself, but then you might fall behind the 3 ball. Does have a corner, though, between the 9 and 7.
Looks like he's digging. You didn't really want to catch a piece of that. He's not out of the woods yet, but the 4 is laying over the top left.
And he's cueing over the 8. Now he bumped that 6 out a little bit. Now I don't know if it passes the 8 still, so. Oh, this pure. Watch out. Oh, no. Wow.
Had to have let up on it just a little bit, though. I didn't feel like he was that steep to where he could finish behind the 9.
Yeah, maybe the tip came up on him a little bit. It looked like he caught the 3 actually to the heavy side of the pocket, so
yes,
that would tell you a hair of a let up or maybe lost the tip position. Stroke was really good, I thought, overall, the delivery.
Yeah, I just thought he might smooth it in a bit more with a little more spin.
Yeah,
softly.
Right.
When you're tired, it's kind of, that shot kind of is one that you want to hit with more pace and can rear up and bite you, but I didn't think it would do it this way.
No, I thought he might get over the 9 maybe or something like that, but not behind it.
Now, what's he looking at here? That is a massive ball to get over. All right, Jay, is this one of the ones that you consider softly hitting, or is it a little different? I think it's a little different, right?
Yeah, when it's left of the pocket, what you want it either kind of straight where it's kind of covering the pocket, the line on the kick shot on the 4, or even a little bit right of it, that line. It's actually a little left of it. Doesn't offer near as much. But can you get 3 rails behind it? Wrapping out of the corner, it's not terrible. It might slide up the rail and make the 5. It might make the 4 on the side. I like 3 rails behind myself.
He can get behind it, no doubt.
Well, NIELS FEIJEN, I'll tell you, this isn't the winning rack or anything, but it's here for you, buddy. I'd probably just play the 6 up long here, set up off the 5 to get to the backside of the 6 probably. Does play by the 8, but it could get a little funny.
I mean, if the 6 past the 8 was that big of a problem, I don't think he'll do it, but there's always a chance you could go with the 6 now and just nudge it out with the 5 hovering.
Man, I'd probably put the cue ball on the other side and just play tidy on the 5 to get to the 6. He's shooting your shot. He's trying to move the 6 a little bit.
Well, I don't think it's the right shot.
Watch out.
He's got away with that big time there.
Yeah, I just don't feel like it was probably, you're playing great. You're in the finals.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just actually led to that shot because I noticed where he was putting the cue ball. I kind of cheated there. But if you're going to play that shot, you have to come long. So we got a lot fortunate there. Really thin on this 5 now.
Yeah, it's perfect to get backside and just go ahead and get straight. If you have to play short side on the 7, that's fine. The 8's over the pocket. He's going to get perfect. Get the feeling of NIELS went from, his normal, he's a grinder, but fairly loose and maybe a little pressing at the moment. I get it, I'm trying to win this tournament.
Yeah, and I think it was 10-8 versus FSR, the final score of NIELS' last match. And he was behind the whole way, so you'd have to expect that he was a bit drained as well. Had a little bit more time to rest and prepare for the finals versus EKLENT. But everything leaning towards the Dutchman taking home the silverware, as our friend Carl Boys would say. Yeah, and I just gotta say thank you to every single person that's tuned in. We're doing the best we can here, and pretty awesome. The WNT TV is also broadcasting this, and it's a great time to be alive in the pool world.
Well, that's more of what he wanted. He's going to get a good look at the blue, too. It's not necessarily, one you're going to shoot at. We'll see, but it's possible, and it got a chance to get control.
Yeah, Jeremy, just taking a look at the field that Niels has tracked through. To me, he's been a little quiet, but maybe just because I haven't covered much of his matches, or many of his matches, better terminology. Steve Way, Rafael DeBreo, Vitali Patsura, Loho Sum, I did cover, Sky, Woodward, Sanjin, John Mora. Now Katie. Excuse me, it wasn't FSR that they just played. It was David Alcade who was in the lead. That was his road to get here. A little short there, Jay.
Yeah, and I like him going. That's for sure. I always do with these guys. And I think he liked it when he hit it. He looked like he wasn't too concerned. This is really tight, and I'm not sure. It might be drawn a little on top of the 3 as well.
Yeah, trailing by 8-4. He wants to stay aggressive, but you could roll forward probably and load him up on top of the 5. If it's that tough. Yeah, and just laying him on top of the 5, he's probably not thrilled with, because he knows he's going to leave him a pretty easy kick.
Yeah, and I really think that can get away from distance, to be honest with you. I mean, that trying to hit that ball full is not easy from distance, especially at a lighter speed. He wants to do something running the cue ball, I think.
Yeah, maybe using the 3 and 9?
I'm not sure, to be fair.
With the inside ball, that's what I would feel like he's trying to do.
Ball, he might get a kiss. Okay, he did cross it. Wow.
Well, you always felt like that was possible. If you missed the 5, you're probably headed somewhere towards the side.
Can he swing this, withdraw with inside, and come 2 cushions, 3 cushions in between the 4-5? I think he can. I think the 3 does pass the 9, so. Low left here, Scott?
Can you level out and play the 3 on the right side here?
I think the 5's a big ball, even if he can do it. So he likes this shot anyway. Seen him, he shoots it a little more often than some other players with the low left English.
Yeah, the 5 is a big ball.
Yeah, it seems like it anyways.
Definitely. I don't even know that he can beat the corner.
Well, he's not cueing too low, so he's definitely got the inside. Has he drawn it? Oh, he's missed it. And I said it earlier. I don't know. I think he may have stepped away, but at the beginning of the match, of course, Neil's always a guy that's going to grind, but he seemed looser. Now, later in the match, he really seems like he's pressing a bit, and I'm not sure exactly why, to be fair. He's played beautifully. Now, just a few little struggles, and we'll see if we remember that miss, because that was an opening.
3 does pass the 9, I believe. Yeah, and to Jeremy's observation, I couldn't really agree more with that as well. I don't know if maybe the tension is kind of rubbing off, and it can happen at times.
Yeah, I don't think if you're struggling and a little fatigued, this is some kind of hanger here.
Everything starts to look tough, even to these guys.
He's taking a lot of time here.
Just wondering if there's something I'm overlooking here, or we're overlooking, but I believe the 9 passes. Does he have a steeper angle than we think?
That may be the case. The 3 definitely passes the 9, though, because that's what Niels was going for as far as position. great shot. He's going to get a little behind it. So he's going to have to take a little distance. This is where the camera fools you. Yeah, there's a lot more angle on this shot than at first glance. Where do you go, Scott? I mean, it's hard to get an angle on this ball here.
You might just have to take the straight long.
From underneath? A hair underneath it, lay on the rail maybe? I mean, that gets you away from the 6. If you try to come out, you're really flirting with getting over the 6, somewhat flat. So I think just trying to lay on the cushion here. You're still going to have to make a great shot on the 4, though. It's a little light. Oh, it did get there. Okay, great. Whew.
Yeah, this is no fun. I mean, you see what he's doing with his hand there. Sometimes the bridge can be extremely awkward in this position when you're kind of shooting away towards the center of the table, like where the 4 is now.
It's kind of a bread and butter for him, you know, the heavy hit from distance, whether it's going forward or backwards, but just kind of feel like it's not a given at this moment.
Yeah, I think if he misses it, it's just to the inside of the pocket. Really caught it fat, Jeremy. And maybe the Q-tip coming up again just a little bit.
Yeah, now he's got to kind of roam at 2 rails. Just hitting a little past the side and just checking the speed a little bit as it comes across the table off the second cushion.
Yeah, it just seems like a lot of extra work. Both these guys kind of going through right now. You saw the gesture with the chalk. A little frustration. Not much. Eklent doesn't give us much in that department.
Yeah, and still a little shocked at the miss from Niels. That was to get on the heel, really, that 2 ball. And good speed. Opened it up a little more. Happy to see that one where it landed if you're Eklent. And again, this match far from over. Eklent will break what will be rack number 14 here after he clears these last 3.
Eklent trailing by 3, 8 games to 5.
Hey, my name is Francisco Django Bustamante, and you're watching a Pro Am Pool.
It's been a little bit of, sorry, Scott.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's been a little bit of everything here in this final. Both guys having their struggle with the break at times, few mistakes, but some great pull also. You just wonder how this, second half of the match is going to go. Got to get it going on this end, though. Needs a break and run or 2. Sweet smash there.
Watch out.
Cue ball's okay, but the 2 is a little blocked, I believe. Boy, it really connected well there, right?
Yeah, 0 kisses on the cue ball.
Maybe he does have a shot at the 2. It's close.
Yeah,
We'll
I
get a
think
look
he's
here in
just
a
clipped.
moment. It's just snookered on the make, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tight. I mean, he'd love to be able to just see the edge of it, just to lay it up on the top rail. I guess he can see more than what that line even gave me, Jeremy, so I'm pretty close to being able to make it, I guess.
Yeah, he's going to run the cue ball with inside 2 cushions, crossing the 2 over behind the 5. Wants to lay him behind the 9 here, middle of the bottom rail. It's got to go a little bit. It's actually going to be pretty good. Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all, really. I don't fault him for just leaving distance and using the 9 as a backup there. Tell you what, it's actually very awkward, this.
Can he go through it and kill the ball on the right rail and bank the 2 down between the 4-9? Can he do that? I think it's okay.
With a check a little bit
Yeah,
inside?
a lot of check. You got to go ahead and spin your ball. But just don't really see much of anything else that I'm in love with.
Yeah, I think he does have to send it back down here. I don't know that you're going to get to use the 3, though. You're just really looking for the distance. Anything else is a bonus.
I think it'll kill if you put enough spin. I really do. Oh, he didn't spin it at all. He just used a flat ball, and, hard to knock that, really. You're probably going to take the worst of it, though.
And yeah, definitely a good chance of it here, the way he plays this ball. He's going to come off our left at the 2, I would assume. Could end up glued to the back of the 3.
Some 3 cushions. Short rail, side rail, and the long rail on the right by the 3, and kind of dive the ball. There are other safeties, but he hits this one really well usually.
Does the cueing or the bridge affect the shot we just touched on?
Yeah, good shout there. It's a possibility. We'll see how he cues the ball. That'll tell the story. He's getting on the right side a little bit and hitting our left side of the 2, his right. So I think he's shooting your shot, Scott. Looks good.
Maybe a little thick into it.
Oh, yeah. Did get a little bit of the hit on the 3, but what happens there, you don't want to leave that 2 on the side cushion. You know what I'm saying? So you get a little more into it, really throw that 2 a lot so it gets out in space.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, number 1, if he can even make the 2 in the lower right, but if he could, I think this is one of those plays where you can warp around the 9. Not saying he's going to play it, but I don't see a lot tactically that's great.
And what Scott's talking about is just use speed to kind of create going above the 9 to the side cushion and then coming around. I like it, especially with the alternatives are very few and far between. You just got to try and bury a big ball here. Right?
Yeah, I really think so, especially with the score line. You've kind of got a little bit of a free roll here to whack at it. It is your break next.
To whack at it. That's funny, but it is going to have some speed as it should and as it needs. It will thump if he hits it. Oh, it didn't hit it terrible. It really didn't.
Well, he really got into it a lot more than I thought, even coming to the back of the 6 like that.
Yeah.
So maybe he put some insight on it instead of just allowing a flat high ball to just warp around. Caught it just a little thin.
Kachi looking at us if he can go 1, 2, 3 rails above the 4 and then off that right side cushion, drop for the 3.
Yeah, steep out of the lower left. It's pretty good.
I think it is.
Yeah, it looks pretty good to me.
I wonder if he maybe bumps the 3 off the 3rd cushion. Table's been checking pretty decent, it seems like. I think this is not easy with the speed he needs to get all the way for that. Does he lay up for the cut on the 3? Just high ball, get 2 rails, maybe a little below the 6, and cut the 3?
I felt like he was just looking at your line there to get past the 4. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think there's an issue getting past the 4. I think the problem is a bunch of speed on this. It really kind of bounces off this 2 ball and comes in a lot tighter than you need.
Yeah, I think he's just looking at that line, though, really.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't mind him laying up in the center for the cut. I really don't. With the 4 pretty available.
Ideally, though, right? If he's coming this way, he'd like to go to the center diamond. But there you're flirting with the 4 a little bit there.
Yeah, we'll see how he plays it. This is what I was thinking.
Perfect.
Is he going to drop on the 3, though? No, it checked nicely. And he really played at the perfect speed, right? If he overhits it, maybe he gets into the 4. If he underhits it a little, maybe a little short with the cue ball. So is the rule here that I heard if one person takes a timeout, that's both players' timeout? Is that what I heard?
I don't believe so.
Okay, that was on day 1. Someone told me that. I was like, well, that's a little confusing, but what I'm getting at is maybe it's time for Niels to take his timeout.
Yeah,
You know
there's
what I
always
mean?
a good time, Jeremy, and I
Yeah.
agree. You touched on Eklent's timeout, and I think it was valuable at that moment, and very, very observant there with Niels' timeout.
He should draw back here.
I like the stroke. Just funny how everything's changed and you can see it and feel it. It's pretty evident how things will rock one way and then the other. Kaci going to be within 2. You feel like this match is even closer for some reason.
Yeah, Niels isn't going to take the timeout. He is breaking here in rack number 15. Needs 2 games to take down this title and leads by 2 at 8-6.
Yeah, and this is why I didn't fault him taking on that long pink where you're just wrapping around. You know you've got the break coming back up. Obviously like to get that ball down. Didn't pan out. Things can slip away from you, though, if something goes wrong here. Kaci at the table, then his break. Now all the heat goes back on Feijen.
He did get the 1 down on the last. I think he had a cross-side bank on the 2 that he thought he hit well. I thought he hit well. It nearly caught the point. And then there was a little tussle for trying to get a shot between the 2 on some safeties. But I feel like he's going to get a shot here. That's just what my gut tells me. Just got to shake off a few mistakes here in the recent games and move forward. All right, cue ball's gone. See you later. Wow, what a big turn of events here.
Yeah, and guess whose breaks next?
Yeah.
No better time for Kaci.
We can't look past this. I mean, he did make 2 balls on the break and has served up ball in hand, but the 6 may be a little awkward with the 5 up table.
Six definitely awkward. Obviously does play anywhere up table or to both sides, but we'll see how he handles it. Does not play to either corner directly in.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to play the 3 where he's coming to the right side of the table. So gaining that angle on the 5 to get behind the 6 is not going to be that easy. Or let's say totally routine. Tell you, I might try and I don't know. I might try and shoot this ball in hand and come down between the 3-9 and up a little bit to play the 3 off this, and then come off the side cushion here. You could get heavy, but then you might get heavy on the 5 also. I don't know. This is a little tricky, even though it's ball in hand.
Yeah, I don't mind playing the 2 on the right side with ball in hand coming down between.
That's what I mean. That's what the shot I was talking about. He's just going to play a heavier one, but he's still got to carry this angle. He wants to get a little bit on his right side of the 5, you know what I mean, to where he's cutting it to the right a little bit and swinging the cue ball. At least I think that's what he wants. That way you can swing it between the 6-8 couple rails. So dead center or hair right of there, Scott?
Sounds good. I think that's where he wants to be. He wants to get a little closer.
Yeah, that's good. That's good there.
Now you just avoid the 8, Jay.
Yeah, but that's what I was talking about. Even though ball in hand, he doesn't have a heavy angle here. So this is where we talked about his tip position got lost a couple times on a few little stuns. If he happens to get into this a little more, he might, bring the 8 into play. If he happens to come up with the tip, he might go into the 6.
What about leveling out a bit more and just coming towards the inside of the 9?
It's not terrible.
And trusting your speed a little bit. If you don't get there, you've got the right side.
Yeah, you got to get into the ball pretty well, though, because, again, there's not a lot of angles. So, but I don't mind that, really. Now, here you got a stun, but you still just don't want to let it go. You could end up, you get between the 6-8, you could fall down here long on the 6, and that could be a problem. That looks pretty good there. Ooh, little nasty kiss, making this definitely more difficult.
Well, the 8 was always going to be massive playing it that way. We talked about it.
And what happens when you're shooting that type of shot with a little less angle, it's easy to miss your mark a hair more just because you're not coming off it as natural. You're kind of forcing the angle a little bit.
Where do you go here, Jay? To the side or the corner?
Probably the corner. From what I can see here, I don't know if there's a scratch in the shooting in the side for the upper right. That would concern me.
All right, stay solid here. You don't want any movement.
Yeah, he's got to ease it. Yeah, center cut.
Well,
cut.
Yeah, that's a real good sign for him.
You still got to get into this a bit. Not as much angle here as you think. Remember the 7 he had in that corner that was easier than this one, you'd say?
Yeah, very eerily similar. This is a little easier, I think.
Well, it's a little more straightforward, Ooh. He's way downtown here.
Well, I think he remembered the last one that he didn't get into.
Yeah, good point. Good shout.
Yeah, this is still, he knows he's still got work ahead, of course. The 9, not that tough, but you'll end up on the rail most likely here. Cheated it as much as he could.
Well, I know it was 8-4. Was it 8-3 at one point? Or was
8-4.
Okay, I know it was 8-4. I just couldn't remember if it was maybe 8-3.
It's possible, actually. I feel like it was 8-4, but...
Yeah, solid there on the 9, and he will be breaking in rack number 16, so 8-7's our score.
Yeah, and there you have it. U.S. Open, August 18th through the 23rd. Harrah's Resort in Atlantic City. What a great event. Without a doubt, toughest event in the States to win. Pre-sale starts tomorrow, The 14th, general sale. The 16th, you got to check it out if you haven't. I know Jeremy's been going to the U.S. Open since he was young. They've really made some big moves as of late.
Yeah. I'll tell you, if you're a fan, which always looking for our pro side of the game to grow and get bigger and better, and if you're a player, it's jumped up 40%, that purse. Or no, excuse me, it's jumped up 66%, going to from 300,000 to 500,000 this year. It's pretty good.
Not too shabby.
I'm not sure what first may be, but I would guess somewhere around 6 figures. Cue ball.
And the 9-ball.
Oh, excuse me. I was watching the cue ball go back and forth.
We got action.
Yeah,
Tied
still not only because it's 8-8, but I still feel like Niels needs that little walk around the arena, take that timeout.
Well, now really, I really agree with this, because the pressure all on him at this point, because Kaci's kind of been through it all last match and now this match. It's really going to fall on Niels.
I'm not going to say much about this break. I thought he'd get a break and a shot on the last one. He went right off in the well. Excuse me. Now, what are you thinking if you're Mr. Feijen, Freeze?
And not scratch.
All right, he's going to get it down. The 9's going to cover the 2. Maybe no. Maybe the 5's got it. Oh, man.
Yeah, and look at how treacherous this is, Jay, because you can make it maybe with an outside swerve, but you're going towards the 9 and the 3.
The 3's just past the side. He's going to have to play a nice little kick shot off the bottom cushion here and nip the 2 up the rail a little and come on the 9. I think you're supposed to be, oh, he's looking at the jump. Now, that's okay. I mean, if you feel like you can make it, at least you can play from there.
But how do you get out of there?
I get it, Scott, but I think this kick shot is one you should practice. Little variations come up quite often.
Yeah, you're talking about kind of coming in wide down here on the short rail and clipping the 2 halfway mark, or even a little thinner, right?
Yeah, bump it up. You can come across on top of the 9. You can kind of squeeze on the 9 depending on how you hit it. He's going for the extension, so no push out here.
Yeah, so does he not have room to play that kick shot? I feel like it's laying quite well. Is he worried about double kissing it? Now looking to come in fuller, which you just touched on. I don't think it's the end of the world either. The 9 is a massive ball there.
Like kick it away, you mean? With
softly,
speed?
Maybe with a little, like just a little bit above soft, and maybe with an inside ball you track up in behind the 9.
Yeah, that's the shot. Just cut the 2 up a little bit. That's the easier shot to gauge, because you have a lot of ways to come across on the 9. And you want to cut it like that, yeah.
Just a little soft, but I think he's good. And that'll get it. You can kick from the right long rail here and hold pretty well behind the 6 and 5. He's so close. Very easy to control at that point. I mean, he can't see a straight piece of it, Jay, but
if you can see a piece of it, I would edge it. I would take my chances that I'm going to edge it and not leave the 2-9 as it go up table. Or can he not edge it and get to the rail and go by the 6? No way. Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, it's way too close to the rail.
And the last 2 matches, Both been tied up at 8. In the last match, it was Kaci that made one of the best kicks I've seen in recent memory. They were tied up at 8 apiece, Jeremy, and he bent the cue ball into a 3-9 kick carom to get on the hill.
Was that to get on the hill? Was it?
Yeah,
Wow.
I believe so. Unless it was 8-7 to
That's
get
what
it
I
at
feel
8.
like. That's what I feel like it was.
Okay,
yeah.
well, it was a key moment.
Yeah, it certainly was after a beautiful shot from Federer.
See, I feel like you can really stop the cue ball here and actually hit the 2 pretty thin, like using the 5 and 6. You don't have to hit it real fat.
Is he gonna go into the 5 here though?
Might go into the side.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well.
Is he trying to tuck behind the 9?
I don't think he wants that much speed.
It went into the 5, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's what I kind of felt may happen.
Yeah, I was talking about maybe catching it thinner. Hard to judge, though.
NIELS needs to settle the ship here and maintain a little bit. Just this opening ball alone. Don't feel like it's one you should ever miss, but hey, it is 8-8 in the finals, and he's had a few mistakes of late.
I do believe the 6 passes the 9 from that angle, but from this, looks a little different.
All right, nice shot there. I know it was fairly routine, but in a big moment, that's a nice shot.
Yeah, big ball to knock down there. I hope everybody's out there sharing the stream. You can't get much better action than the last 2 rounds here.
He's gotten pretty perfect here to really play it how he wants with that concerned 6 ball possibly, to where he can play the angle to get behind it. The good thing is the 8's so near, right? So if it is a little tight, you don't really have to work the cue ball. So come get nice and heavy here on the 5. Just broaden it a little bit coming near that left side pocket. It's got to go a little bit, doesn't it?
Tells me the 6 might not play past the 9, and he might be perfect here dropping below.
Yeah.
I don't think it plays past the 9. So I think this was maybe by design, but he's acting like it was not.
Yeah, just the stroke, knowing his stroke, I feel like there was a hair of a let up there. That's what made me think the 6 did go, and maybe he just didn't get where he wanted. Is he in a position to roll and bump the 6 to the rail there and have that shot? Maybe fall behind it some kind of easy way?
Yeah, that's what he's looking at, I think, Jay.
He played it heavy. Beautiful shot. Played it to the right side of the pocket so he could get by the 6 ball.
Yeah, went through the ball clean. I don't think that shot's ever going to get the credit it deserved, but just missing the 6 for position there on the side is pretty sweet. And a big time out here under the gun. Yeah, it didn't seem real difficult, but things were not going the Tournament's way. They are now.
And on the heel. So all the pressure on the big Albanian.
think this guy needs a look after the break. I definitely don't think he's going to back off any power.
No, watch out for, of course, some kisses that could be friendly, and who knows otherwise.
Keep an eye on the 9.
Got that kiss. He was probably sweating it a little bit, but the 2's going to dress up, boys. We're looking at another 9-9 match here. A lot of work, though.
Can he play the 5 off the 7, though? That's really pretty natural where the 6 is at.
Oh, that's perfect call. I mean, he just eases this in. Got on the 3. He's got the 4. And the 5, like you talked about. Off the 7. 6 is handy.
Yeah, I didn't feel like there was any reason to get thin on the 3 and try and flirt with the 9 here, and I don't think he will, unless he doesn't recognize the 5 off the 7.
Yeah, I think he's already looked at it, actually, the 5 off the 7, so don't think you're going to see him do anything but draw this ball to the rail, avoiding the 9 and 7 completely. Well, got a little thinner than he wanted.
A couple of times in that same shot, Jeremy, a couple of times where the cue ball just didn't kind of get back the way we thought it would.
Yeah, one of them he got snookered on earlier, I believe it was.
Yeah, on the 9.
Yeah. Yeah, shooting that 3 ball when he was over the 8 a little bit. Crucial game as well. They're all crucial, right?
Sure. Now, do you play the 5 into the rail first, or do you just try to trim the 7? I think you've got to use the rail.
That's the friendlier one. If you're comfortable with it, the bigger percentage on not making a mistake is playing the 5 into the cushion off the 7 now. I think he can hit inside on this and come inside the 6 ball. I think that would be ideal. That way you're close to the 5.
Just don't overcut this.
He went around, so the speed looks really good. And now he's got to cut it a bit to play it off the rail, so we'll see.
Yeah, definitely funny. And if you're just trying to play the 5 off the 7 clean and you just thin the 7, well, it ain't going to get away from the 9 at all.
Yeah, and you don't want to take a chance of hitting it too thick, that 7 ball, and catching a double kiss, so could have used like 3 or 4 more inches on the cue ball, and that would have made all the difference in the world, really. So far from out of the woods here in rack 18, trying to get us to Hill.
It'd almost be ideal if he could play the 6 to the top left, and then he could use this left long rail a little bit more and just stun below it.
Yeah, if he's cutting it to the rail, don't let up. Easy to let that cue ball wander if you let up here. Oh, I didn't catch the 7, so there it is for NIELS FEIJEN, immediately out of the chair.
And he's opened the 7 up as well.
Wow, what a big turn of events here, and really just kind of one big shot here, getting on the 6 properly to get on the 7, right?
Yeah, and that right there was a result of catching the 5 a little bit too fat. Just a little more rail, please. Now.
What's he looking at here? And
no time to panic, is there? I believe.
Oh, just chip the 5 in, right? And come up off the short cushion, just come 1 rail up and get you a hair of an angle on the 6. And you can handle a lot on the 7, a lot more than you think. I wouldn't flirt with opening the 7 here. Yeah. He's looking at rail first, maybe?
Never in a million years a real reason. Maybe he's just looking to clear the 7, 9 bothering him for some reason.
No, all he needs is somewhere where he's at right there, where he's pointing the cue, and he can run the cue ball with top inside off the 7 easily.
Fully agree. Tend to maybe be in a position where he's overthinking it a little bit.
Yeah. Nothing wrong, I mean, when it's there to try and make the rack a little easier on yourself, but most of the time you're just better off working through what's laying there in front of you. Be really shocked if he goes into the 7-9 here. Really kind of shocked he's entertaining it.
Yeah, there is no trouble just chipping this ball in and coming up towards the center.
Yeah, just stay up the left side. Yeah, go up. You can handle a ton of angle on the 6 and still drop for the 7. And you don't need it in a ton of angle, to be honest with you. You just need a little past the middle diamond on the right rail to get at that 7 ball.
Yeah, and listen, if you came way short of the 6, you can still get back down here for the 7.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you're off the cushion, right?
Right.
I'd be really shocked if he moved into the 7-9 here.
Well, I can promise you Kaci would like him too.
Yeah. Nah, he's just chipping it. Just use your speed control. This looks to be really good.
Yeah, and this is
perfect. Just roll it with a little right, huh, Scott? I mean, you can beat the 9 coming off the 7 with inside English. 100% you can.
Is he worried about getting straight?
Yeah, that's why you roll it with right English to the rail and let it kind of spread a little bit off the cushion with the spin. I do anyways.
I do the same, and I just feel like he's concerned that if he lets up at all, that right spin could just lay him dead straight.
Yeah.
You're talking about coming down to the bottom rail.
No,
right?
no, just one rail off the side is all I would do, and just let the right spin open up and kind of come downward. You got tons of angle here. I mean, you got plenty of angle.
Well, you can actually get to the 7 from the middle diamond there on the right side.
Yeah, that's what I was saying a minute ago. That's all you need is the middle diamond. And then you got top inside to get on the 8.
No doubt, just level out with an outside ball here.
Yeah, just let the spin take over. You're always going to have the angle. Just like that. Now you're perfect. You should be able to avoid the 9 with no issues. And you can see he's on the middle diamond line, right?
I'll tell you what, he could catch a piece of the 9. I don't think it's the end of the world.
I don't think so. As long as you don't overhit it, as long as you don't baby it, just right in the middle, you beat the 9 all day, I think. I think the inside takes. Now on a new felt, brand new felt, but this is day 4. Brand new felt, yeah, you may not take as well, but
well, this might be a drag with a low inside, right, Jeremy, where you can beat the 9 if that's the case.
Kind of deflect the ball into a better angle.
Right.
I really don't think. I think medium speed. I don't think he catches the 9 one bit.
Well, even if he does, I think he'll be okay.
Oh, he did.
All right.
Hair off angle, just a hair.
Well, he does have that awkward angle.
He went forward on a similar 6 ball earlier, or 7 ball it was, early in the match. Hit it pretty well.
Now, this is one that you really don't want to introduce inside spin on. Just knock it down. Take the distance with the high ball if you go forward. Just get to the 3rd rail. Hard not to draw this, though, but it seems like a little bit of a funny side.
Yeah, I don't blame him trying to draw or stun. Boy, now, and also, I wouldn't even apply any right English myself. I'd probably just go straight top if I was going to shoot it.
Absolutely, just said that 100%.
Oh, is that what you said?
I just said that exact same
excuse me, I was thinking about the other shot. So
you're good. Just tells me I'm doing okay.
Hmm.
I was thinking about just pinching back, Jay?
That's okay. Nothing wrong with pinching, but I like going forward too.
Oh, he peered it.
Really nice. Take the pot. Take the pot, NIELS fan. Didn't let back at all.
Well deserved.
It's going to be a great final to remember. Heck of a field. One of the veterans takes it down against one of our top players on tour. NIELS Fan Hall of Famer is our winner here. at the Open NineBall Professional Players Championship. What do you think, Scott?
I appreciate everything. I appreciate you, Jeremy, Frank Mialetti. Thank you, everybody, for turning in. It means the world to us. Congratulations to NIELS FEIJEN, EKLENT KACI. Heck of a performance, heck of a fight. He just won the last ranking event. He'll be doing all right in points. They'll probably keep the stream up. I want to thank Digital Pool and WNT TV. I think they've done a great job working together and going forward. It's going to be some big things. Thank you all so much. I know JJ and I are a little burnt out, but we'll talk to you soon.